Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our second networking session of the year. My name is Kate Sugg, and I'm a program administrator with the Westchester County Youth Bureau. Just a reminder to please mute your microphones if you aren't speaking. Also, we are recording the session and it will be posted in the video library located on our website if you want to revisit the material that we cover today. We have a lot of programs to hear about in a short amount of time, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in with our first presenters of the day from Abbott House, Jeff Shapiro and Joannetta Rhodes, to talk about their residential programs. So Jeff and Joannetta, please take it away.
All right, I'll get started if it's okay, Joannetta. Joannetta's in therapeutic foster care. She'll be talking about that after I speak about the residential programs. So again, my name is Jeff Shapiro. I'm the Vice President for Residential and Group Home Services. This feels a little bit like a TikTok challenge, but I'm going to try to get through as much as I can, as quickly as I can. The Abbott House Group Homes were recently certified and accredited as QRTPs, or Qualified Treatment Programs. And essentially this means that group homes are more focused on treatment and integrating evidence-based trauma-informed care. We currently have 3 QRTP group homes that serve youth between the ages of 15 and 21. The first is in White Plains, and it's for adolescent girls. The second is in Mount Kisco and serves adolescent boys, and the last one is in Sullivan County, and that's also for boys. Clinical services are provided through 29I, and they include medical and social work services, and all of the homes have a capacity for 8 youth. And in addition, each house has the benefit of having services of an educational specialist or a youth development navigator and an independent living coordinator that's there for the kids. And we work also very closely with the school districts in order to ensure academic advancement. The second home that I'll tell you, or service that I'll tell you a little bit about, is our community residence. The CR is a co-ed residence in Pleasantville, and it provides group home living for 8 children between the ages of 9 and 15. The program provides supervised trauma-informed therapeutic environment where kids can develop grounding techniques and the positive coping skills that they need to return home. We work closely with families and guardians to help them understand trauma and mental illness, sometimes talking about intergenerational trauma and how it impacts our youth and the kids that we work with, and the families, of course. Clinical treatment is provided by local providers, typically in the community where the child is from, in order to maintain continuity post-discharge. And our in-house team includes a social worker, a recreation coordinator, a nurse, a house manager, and a full complement of direct care staff. Our kids also benefit from our close working relationships with local school districts, which helps to maximize the academic achievement. So I don't know, was that 2.5 minutes? Because now Joannetta can take over for the next 2.5. I might have gone over.
Okay, and I'll try not to go over, and I'm sure Kate will remind me if I do. So just to bring a little, thank you, Jeff. Just to bring a little bit of more information about Abbott House itself, I sort of pulled together some information to give everyone a clear understanding of our agency overall. Abbott House programs and services are designed to keep families together. We ensure children are safe, their needs addressed, and they are provided opportunities to thrive. Our approach is to partner with children and families to create a plan and tap into the right resources that best meets their needs. The heart of our work at Abbott House is dedicated to helping human beings recover from deep trauma or intervening to prevent and minimize trauma. To continuously improve our effectiveness, our entire staff receive ongoing training to be able to bring a therapeutic mindset to all of their work, regardless of their role or title. We support nearly 2,500 children in foster care. unaccompanied immigrant children, struggling families, and adults with developmental disabilities in the New York metropolitan area and Hudson Valley. We build lasting foundations to support children, families, and adults with complex needs. Family comes first at Abbott House. We work hard to reunite families and create new ones so those entrusted to our care feel a sense of belonging, rooted in hope and community. And you can find further information about what Abbott House offers on our Abbott House website. So that allows me to transition into the foster care rim of where I manage the therapeutic family foster care program. Abbott House provides foster care services in the following areas: the South Bronx, Dutchess County, Sullivan County, Ulster County, Westchester County, and Rockland County. I oversee the therapeutic program located in Westchester County located in Irvington, New York. My program consists of case planners and sociotherapists. The case planners are required to visit with our children on a bi-weekly basis, and our sociotherapist visits with the children on a weekly basis. During those contacts of visitation, home consultations, the case planner and sociotherapists address the behaviors or mental health concerns regarding our children. The sociotherapist, weekly responsibility is to work with the resource parent, work with the child, to assist them in managing the child's behavior. All children placed in our therapeutic service program have a history or are diagnosed with mental health diagnoses. There may be some medical concerns relating to the child, behavioral concerns. So we work closely with the resource family and the child, as well as with our Abbott House clinical team members, which consist of individual therapists, psychiatrists, and we also work within the community. Some of our children receive services in the community for individual and family therapy if needed. The services, we have medication management, as I said, through the psychiatric services, and we supervise family visitation here at the agency, or we conduct some visits in the community if allowed. What that means is if the court has approved for us to be in the community to have a family visit, we will do that with our families. We try to keep as much normalcy in the child's life as much as possible, which allows us also, for independent living skills that are provided to our children 14 and older. That consists of a specialist working with the children, helping them to develop those independent skills so that they can develop skills such as traveling, budgeting, banking, just being able to communicate with people in the community, making appointments for themselves, helping them achieve and receive their driver's license or non-driver's ID. So our independent specialist works and visits our children on a monthly basis. My children in my program range from the ages of 0 to 21 years old. And based on the child's needs, we meet those needs to service the child to assist them in working towards independency. And eventually we hope and we plan towards permanency. Permanency can consist of adoption, independent living, placement in a adult residential program, placement with a relative, or other sources that may be available to the child to help the child establish permanency and stability.
Joannetta and Jeff, thank you so much for sharing all of that valuable information about Abbott House and your residential programs. I would just like to open it up for 1 to 2 minutes to see if we have any questions for you. If anyone has any questions for Jeff or Joannetta, please feel free to unmute. Or you can also utilize the chat feature as I am monitoring the chat. I would also ask if Joe or Jeff, if you wouldn't mind, could you put the Abbott House website into the chat for us, just in case anyone wants to visit your website or get further information?
Sure thing.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you so much. Okay, I don't see any questions in the chat. So thank you again And we are going to move on to the Carver Center. We will be hearing from Kelly Gordon-Minot about the Teen Center and the Carver Scholars Program.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Very excited to be here to share information about our programming. And I have a lot to say, so I'm going to jump right in. I have the privilege of working at the Carver, which is a wonderful community center in the heart of Port Chester that has a wide range of services for the community, from swimming and aquatics programming. We have a market that serves and battles food insecurity, as well as our citizenship classes that has helped a number of immigrants gain citizenship, and much more. But today, as you mentioned, I'm going to speak specifically about my area, which is the Teen Center. So within our teen program, the Teen Center is the heart of that area. We serve young people ages 13 through 18. So it's typically 8th grade through 12th grade. And it is a drop-in style model where there is no attendance requirement. And we like to think of our Teen Center as a resource where students can use it as it fits their needs and what fills in their gaps. We want to make sure that we have something for all of Port Chester students, regardless of where they are. If they're a high achieving student or a student that's really struggling, we want to make sure that there is a resource or some kind of service that we can provide to help them along their journey. Mentoring is a big part of our Teen Center, where we are often helping students navigate the challenges that they're experiencing in various areas of their life. There's a lot of mindset development and shifting, helping them with self-advocacy and exposing them to new information that, again, will help them along their journey. So within just that drop-in style model, as an educator, we're always sneaking in the vegetables here. So our Teen Center has a beautiful space. We have a loft area and a lounge area. In our loft area, we have a pool table, ping pong, air hockey, couches for them to lounge. An essential component of our Teen Center is a safe environment where students can socialize and communicate, and again, develop kind of those soft skills and really be a part of a community. Also in our area, we have another room, our lounge area, that has couches, an area where we do movie nights. We have a large screen and a projector. So we have anime days or movie nights, again, building that community. Also in that space, tables and chairs where they can work on projects together and do homework. Our teens also have access to our gym every day from 3 to 6 p.m. And there are organized activities in there, as well as just in time for them to develop their skills. We have a lot of basketball players, so they use that space for drills and pickup games. And then again, also organized activities. I forgot to mention at the beginning, we do partner with many organizations and community partners to provide additional services. So within the area of basketball, we partner with Beyond the Game Connection, who provides basketball clinics on Saturdays, that's very popular. We have a number of students coming in working on their skills and seeing a lot of improvement. Also within our Teen Center, students have access to our tech lab, and that space is used for homework, tutoring, also special workshops. We partnered with the Jesse Kohlberg Foundation earlier this year to provide a college application crash course where they Zoomed with different instructors to help them throughout the entire college process and application process. Right now, we are partnering with the STEM Alliance to provide a tech education course where students are working on personal branding. So they're developing computer skills in the area of self-promotion. They are creating logos, building websites, learning how to, again, just navigate software and computers on a more professional level. And the beauty of that program is they get a brand new Chromebook and hotspot at the end of that course. So it's an example of working with our partners to provide them with additional services and resources. And again, in that space, we also have tutoring. Math and science is a heavy area of focus for our young people right now, so we're able to provide them with some support. In addition to those spaces, we also are blessed with a beautiful recording studio. And we partner with the Andrews Studio Foundation to give that area a complete upgrade, and again, collaborate on different programs. Right now, our young people, our scholars, are working on a podcast in that studio, and it's centered around them sharing their perspectives on a variety of topics, whether it's school, politics, cancel culture. So it's an opportunity for them to share their voice, and they'll be sharing that with the adults in their world. And we are also partnering again with the Andrews Studio to do a racial harmony project, which will have specific artists creating music and pieces around race relations and identity. So it's a way we use that space. In addition to those different areas and our partnerships, the Teen Center is always providing special activities, again, to build that community and skills. So, and that can range from cupcake wars to in-depth conversations around unspoken topics we don't talk about. We call those like deep dive discussions. We did a real life Among Us game throughout our teen center. We also took a trip to the AMC theater. We rented out a theater for our young people to see the Eternals. So again, just ways that we are getting our young people involved and helping them to develop community. Beyond that, we also provide volunteering opportunities for our young people. We just did our Midnight Run, which is when, again, partnering with the Midnight Run organization, they were able to collect toiletries, clothing items, and make bag lunches and deliver them to the homeless in the city, which is was a great experience for them to be able to open their eyes. And again, that exposure. Finally, the last component of the Teen Center that I'll speak about is employment. We help our young people with employment, whether it's resume development, interview skills. We've connected a number of young people with our aquatics department. We have 2 teens right now working towards becoming lifeguards in our pool. We partner with the Youth Bureau, Portchester Youth Bureau, to help students get employment through that agency. We also employ our teens in our summer programming here as well. And again, partnering with other organizations such as like the Blue Skies summer camp to provide volunteer opportunities for our young people. So that is the kind of the heart of our Teen Center. The one thing I didn't mention, we're open 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 2 to 8, and Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 6 p.m. And then briefly, I will switch over to just telling you about our Scholar program, which was created for students who wanted a little bit more. They wanted a little bit more structure and development towards their goals. So the Scholar program operates within 4 pillars, and students attend routine workshops and activities within these 4 areas. So I'll briefly touch on those and give you examples. The first pillar is personal growth and development. So within that pillar, students attend one-to-ones with their Scholar coaches to work on goal development, creating action plans, SMART goals, personal assessments, and action plans for, again, moving forward. Our second pillar is academic support and career preparation, and that can range from tutoring, academic trackers, but also college tours, sessions with different professionals to learn about careers and vocational opportunities, resume building, resume workshops, and interview skill workshops within that area. We really want to just help our young people figure out what it is they want to do and what skills they will need to help them be successful in those areas. Our third pillar is leadership and community service. So we want, again, to help our scholars develop their skills by doing. Right now, they are working on a number of community projects. One was organizing a Thanksgiving dinner that we had for our Teen Center and community partners here. So they helped to organize and execute that. They also helped with our Midnight Run and organizing that activity. We are working on a toy drive as well with the Capitol Theater to collect items for our young people. So that is just an example of how we are helping them kind of engage in community service projects. Our fourth pillar is enrichment.
I'm sorry, Kelly, you can wrap up your 4th pillar. Yep, thank you.
Yep. Enrichment and awareness. And that really is just exposure and helping them to gain awareness of what is going to help them. So it could be financial literacy workshops, youth conferences. Again, our young people are working on that podcast, which is helping with their level of awareness of just themselves and how they relate. So thank you so much. I'll stop right there. And that's our Teen Center and our Scholar Program. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. The Carver Center has a lot of exciting stuff going on. I've been able to visit, and it's such a nice place for youth to gather. So I really appreciate your presentation. Before we move on, does anyone have any questions for Kelly about the Carver Center teen programs? All right, well, we are going to move on to our next presenters. We are going to hear from Judy and Daisy with El Centro Hispano.
Hello, everyone. A pleasure to be with all of you. And El Centro Hispano will be celebrating its 48th birthday in January. And we have been offering many programs. The programs that we create are based on the need of the community. Therefore, throughout the years, we have been introducing new programs practically on a daily basis. And we're very happy to say that we have not only educational programs for adults and children, but many other programs and services that the community that benefits the community. But I will not go into them because then we will not have enough time to discuss them. Now, during the pandemic, we had very difficult times. However, we were very happy to maintain all our programs virtually. And now we're back to a more normal situation. Now our adult programs are back in person for everyone who's fully vaccinated. In our children's program, Daisy will talk about them and she'll explain to you which ones are virtually and which ones are in person. But I wanted to tell you that one of the main programs that we have is the community service program, which is the program that serves many of our educational programs. Our students, either college or high school students, are the mentors and the tutors in our programs. In many cases, they have been the mentees, and then they are the mentors, and in other cases, they even become the coordinators of the programs. And when they are mentors or mentees, they accumulate community hours, and that gives them the opportunity to earn a scholarship from El Centro Hispano. We have been able to give out $500,000 on scholarships since we began in 1980. Last year, we gave out $20,000 in scholarships, and we're very proud of this program because it is helping the students to continue with their education. We also have a stipend program that we use to enhance the participation of the students in college or high school. And now Daisy will take over and she'll discuss the educational programs that are mainly funded by the Youth Bureau in the county. And we're very grateful for your support, because without your funding, we would not be able to have any of the programs that she's going to be discussing about now. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So we have 9 educational programs that have been going on since pretty much the beginning of El Centro Hispano's inception. They cover from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. So I'm just going to go through them really quickly. So we have early literacy for kindergartners through 3rd graders. In this program, students have an emphasis on reading, writing, and then the coordinator of the program usually tries to involve the parents, because we believe that the earlier children have a good exposure to what good academic practices are, the better they're going to be as they move towards high school. So that's for kindergarten to 3rd grade. And then in the summer, from July all the way to almost the beginning of the school year, we have another program for 2nd to 3rd graders. Last year, we expanded it from kindergarten all the way through 3rd grade because of all of this online Zoom and everything. We saw that the kids were really struggling, so we decided to try it out. It worked pretty well. So we might, and we probably will continue the program like this, just to give these children a little bit more of an advantage with the volunteers and the coordinator and everything that we have in the program. The next program that we have is Culture Through Technology for 4th and 5th graders. Students here are exposed to a different, they focus on homework and good academic standing, but they also learn different components of different cultures and how to apply good study skills towards homework and other and develop other good habits. And then we have study skills specifically for 5th graders, trying to continue to emphasize what good study skills look like and how that will help them down the road. Then we have my older sister for 6th grade girls, my older brother for 6th grade boys, and it's 2 separate programs happening simultaneously at Eastview Middle School. The coordinator of the program and the director of educational programs are always trying to incorporate new elements to this. And I believe that right now for the girls, we're doing something related to STEM. We're trying to push girls to go into engineering, math, and all that good stuff. Now we have Saturday Academy for 7th through 12th graders. And recently this year, we just started a new component of Saturday Academy over with the Elmsford School District, and it's working out pretty well. And then we have another component for high school students, but this one is a little bit different. This one takes place at the high school, and it's for recent arrivals. So students who haven't really dominated English and are learning how to incorporate themselves into the new school system. So this program is geared towards them. And then the final program that we have, which is one of our newest programs, is the Ben Boykin Homework Help Center. It was started because Ben Boykin gave us the initial funding for this, and this program is open to all ages. It doesn't have the same strict regulations that the other programs have. It's pretty much open to anybody who needs it and is able to come whenever they want to come. So yeah, those are all of the programs. The elementary school level programs all the way up until 5th grade are still taking place virtually because we don't want to expose our students to the virus and we don't want our staff to be in danger either. And then anything from 6th grade moving forward, they're all in person as long as the children are fully vaccinated and they're always wearing facial coverings when they're in the classroom setting. For the high school students, one major component of this is, like Judy said, the scholarship program. So not all the students make it all the way through 12th grade. Sometimes the coordinator or the director of educational program, they realize like, okay, they've had enough of the program. They have good potential to become mentors themselves. So then as they go through Saturday Academy, that's where they start vetting them to see which students will become the next mentors. And it's a cycle. It just keeps going and going and going. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if I'm missing anything.
No,
so much.
Yeah, it's a lot. So like at the end, if anybody has any questions, I know it's like a lot of information that we're like throwing out there.
But shared great information. I'm wondering if maybe you can leave the El Centro website in the chat.
yes.
And I see your contact information here. So if anyone has any questions, they can email you. Judy, did you need to add something?
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understands that the success of the program is because the parents must be very, very involved with the process, and no child is accepted into the program unless they are interviewed by the director of the program and they do comply with our rules and regulations. So that has been very successful to us, and we are very happy to be like dictators.
Yeah, all the coordinators are very, very on top of the kids. So if they see something that's a little like weird or something that needs a little bit pushing, like we see sometimes that students, there's a little pushback at the beginning because they're like, there's too many rules and everything. But as soon as we see this happening, the coordinators and the director of educational programs, and in some instances, even Judy, we're always involved and we're always trying to get the parents and the students on the same page, because we know we can't be with them every single day. But if we start that good habit, they will probably continue that within their home.
And now, because of the virtual programs, we're trying to incorporate the parents and we're trying to give them the necessary skills to be able to communicate using computers, etc. And many of them enroll in our computer programs. So I think we are trying to cover as much as we can, and it's all because of people like you that are giving us the opportunity and the funding. So thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate everything that you do for your youth. I've been to your programs, and they're just wonderful. They're such a great resource for youth and families. So thank you so much to Judy and Daisy. I see you put your website in the chat, so if anyone has any questions or wants to visit the El Centro Hispano website, it's right there in the chat feature. Okay, we are running a little behind, so we're going to move along to our next agency, and we are going to hear from Anitra Guzman Santana with Family Service Society of Yonkers.
Hi, everyone. So Family Service Society of Yonkers offers a range of services. I'll give you a quick snippet of that before we dive into the programs that we'll be discussing today. And so as an agency, we are a licensed home care agency. We offer free training to those interested in becoming home health aides. That training gets them certified, New York State certified to be home health aides. So we offer both the training component and the employment opportunity. We have services for seniors, and we also offer guardianship services, supportive housing for formerly disabled individuals. We also, I just got lost in my notes. So we also have a consumer-directed personal assistance program, which kind of closely mirrors the home health care component. And then there's the programs that I oversee that we're going to talk more about today. That the Youth Bureau has wonderfully supported us with for many years, as has the county. So as an agency, we have been offering academic support services in Westchester for over 20 years. And those programs range from reading buddies after school, students and mature adults reading together, more recently e-tutoring because of the pandemic, of course, which is just a variation on what we were doing in person, as well as an expansion of what we would offer in person, where we're focused on multiple subject areas that are focus areas needed for the students. So these programs we also consider intergenerational in nature. We have a very robust volunteer core, if you will, of mostly seniors who step in, who are trained, more recently trained on technology, which they otherwise would not have been using, but also kind of provide a professional development as well. Many of our volunteers are retired teachers, so it's a wonderful opportunity to continue to keep seniors engaged, but also to provide support to students who need it. And so our program is a one-on-one tutoring opportunity for students in need. And in most cases, we work specifically with particular school districts and schools, but more recently, because of the pandemic, we've also made it more of a public opportunity for parents who need tutoring services for their children virtually. It's given us the kind of flexibility in that way. So there's a bright side to the pandemic. In some ways, we've learned other ways that we can offer services that we wouldn't have considered previously. So I think that's a win. So our programs are one-on-one, all school year long. It's a once a week commitment. Oftentimes the teachers identify the students who have the greatest need. But then again, as I mentioned, we have parents who reach out to us directly who recognize there's a need with their child and they'd like to see their child advance. We do assessments with our children. That's a more recent development where we've actually utilized a new technology to be able to offer assessments online. And so we're assessing our students at the beginning and the end of every year. In addition to that, we do surveys with the tutors and parents and academic and administration at the school, so teachers, in order to kind of continue to manage and evaluate performance across the school year. And then we wouldn't we wouldn't want to just focus on the academics, so we ensure we add in some celebratory opportunities. So even right now in a virtual setting for most of our programs, we have this Winter Wonderland program scheduled where all of the students are going to be receiving like a plaster craft, and they're going to be getting a lesson and painting that craft at home. So all the items are being delivered to each of the students, and we have a facilitator who's going to be doing, I guess it's called pottery. I don't know why I'm lacking the words to use plaster. It's plaster, but pottery. And so so they'll get a class in that. We've had authors come speak. Jerry Craft, for one, who's a New York Times best-selling author, who wrote New Kid, graphic novel. He's not only the author, but the illustrator. For him, it was very important to create a platform where he can have more focus on people of color as lead characters in works. And for him, graphic novels were a mechanism that got him into reading, which, you know, which for many kids seems to be like somewhat of a gateway. So so we've partnered with authors for author readings, painting sessions, the works, in an effort to not just, you know, focus on the academic component, but to keep kids engaged and give them an opportunity to really have fun with the program as well. We offer monthly trainings to our volunteers. We also, as an agency, we have a licensed school-age childcare program. So, you know, we have within that, we have STEM and journal writing. So again, something that we've done various types of academic support for many years in varying ways. We have a summer reading buddies program, which operates out of the Yonkers Public Library and Ossining Public Library, in which all students are invited to participate. Back in the day when we could really do it big before the pandemic, we'd have hundreds of people at Riverfront Library. Just, you know, the library loved it, you know, so many kids involved, but then the parents kind of walking around looking at books on the shelves. So it was a really fun and very energy rich environment. And so we continue to offer that, and we've had to offer it in different ways during the pandemic. We offer parent workshops as part of our assortment of services. Again, I think I've heard someone else say it, where, you know, really engaging the parent makes a difference in what we do. You want the parents should always be involved in what's going on with their students' development or the child's development, and to be able to engage them in two ways. One, so that they can better support their child at home, but then secondly, so that perhaps they get some development themselves. So we've offered workshops in developing a growth mindset, supporting students through struggle. We actually have a reading comprehension, strategies in reading comprehension at home coming up next week. And we'll be launching a financial literacy series for the family as well very soon. So we're looking at somewhat of a holistic approach to that. And then I just end by saying, by mentioning our Kinship support program, which the Abbott House may have some familiarity with. We service kinship families. It's considered kinship. We don't go as far as the foster care level, so it's more informal in custody. But it's caregivers, so grandparents in most cases, but grandparents and other relatives who are raising children without the parent in the home, and the parent may not be in the home for a number of different reasons, from incarceration to death. There are many reasons, abuse, etc. So we provide all of the supportive services for those families, everything from support groups for the children and the caregiver, parenting trainings, family engagement opportunities. We have a trip coming up to the Bronx Zoo, Holiday of Lights. We did an apple picking not too long ago. Opportunities where, you know, they wouldn't otherwise be able to accommodate either the travel or the costs associated with these sorts of trips. And let's see, and then we offer a summer camp program. We have holiday giving. So the list goes on. And of course, things like emergency assistance as well. So I know I've gone over my time, but I appreciate being able to finish up. Kate, thank you so much for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, Anitra. You shared so much great information We have so many more programs to get to, but if anyone has a question for Anitra, please feel free to use the chat to chat her, or her email is right here on the screen if you would like to reach out and contact her directly. Thank you so much, Anitra. We are now going to move on to our next speaker, Mary Jane Carver with Glsen, Lower Hudson Valley.
Hi.
Mary Jane, I muted you because we are having some technical issues with your microphone. It looks like you might have two mics open. Are you on with us maybe on the computer and also on a phone? So that might be why we're getting so much feedback. Let's try to unmute you and see, and if not, we can move on to the next person and then get back to you. So let's see if this works. Okay, Mary Jane, let's do another test.
So what did I do wrong?
I'm so sorry, Mary Jane. I will try and troubleshoot that with you. And in the meantime, we will move on to our next presenter, Amanda Amarati with the Harrison Youth Council. And then Mary Jane, we won't forget about you. We'll jump right back to you in a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Kate. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. My name is Amanda Amarati. I am the program director of the Harrison Youth Council. I also have Mary Beth Stewart here with us. She's going to speak to our YES program as our YES coordinator and our administrative assistant. So I will briefly touch on two components of our program, and then Mary Beth will speak to our YES program. We are located in Harrison and are able to provide services for all Harrison residents for free, ages 5 to 20 and their families. So we are composed of three different parts: prevention counseling, evidence-based curriculum for social emotional learning, and then the YES program, Youth Employment Services. So first, our prevention counseling aspect, we have 3 licensed social workers that are able to provide individual and family counseling for free to residents. We provide short-term solution-focused counseling. And the reason that we are called prevention counseling is because we aim to prevent any early initiation of problem behaviors, whether that be substance use, academic failure and dropout, teen pregnancy, or gambling issues. Our main goal here is to decrease an individual's risk factor by increasing their protective factors, such as strong relationships with their other adults in their lives, whether that be family or a coach, connection to various community resources, employment for our teenage clients, and so much more. The other component that we have is the evidence-based curriculum and programming. So our staff of social workers are in all 4 of the elementary schools within the town of Harrison, and they provide a variety of programs that will increase our youth social emotional capacity by teaching them coping skills, respect, emotional tolerance, management. We provide these programs either during their school lunch period or directly into the classrooms that we're serving the entire classroom as a whole. We not only are working within the elementary school, but we provide community presentations based on any identified need that comes to us, whether that's through the PTA, the school administration, or just parents of the community. We are in our after-school programs as well as our summer camps. We are a full year-round program. Some of the programs that we use you might be familiar with. They're called Second Step, Too Good for Violence, or Life Skills. You're going to hear my dog barking in the background. I apologize. We are also in the beginning stages of being trained by the New York Council on Problem Gambling and how gambling and gaming kind of overlap. So we will be able to deliver community-wide presentations for those types of gambling-like activities, whether that be scratch-offs, fantasy sports. We want to reduce any risk of a gambling tendency. We see this in various video games or on your phone. You can buy more things to advance in the game. We all know how that works. So it can be very enticing for young kids. That is it for my part. We have the Youth Employment Services program. So I'm going to turn the rest over to Mary Beth. Thank you. I'm sorry I sped through that.
Thanks, Amanda. Hi, everybody. Again, my name is Mary Beth Stewart, and I am the Youth Employment Services Coordinator at the Harrison Youth Council. And our program works by coordinating with local businesses and residents in our area who are in need of part-time or seasonal opportunities. The YES program matches the students with job openings, as well as placing open positions on our job board on our website. I'm usually in the high school 2 days a week, either in the cafeteria or in the library, where students can come and obtain information on our registration forms and their forms that they need to fill out. And it helps them to reduce the barriers or roadblocks that they, so they can get comfortable with, going in for interviews and resume writing. They also can obtain their working papers at the high school, so that makes it much easier for them because they need to have the working papers at the age of 14. We work with many restaurants, grocery stores, golf and country clubs, as well as families who are in need of babysitting or snow removal or anything like that, any type of various tasks around the house. And we present the YES program to the PTA of all the schools throughout the entire year. Another aspect of the YES program is to provide the youth with necessary resume writing and interviewing skills to promote success. Many youth who come to us are looking for their first job, so we want to be able to give them the information about how to dress, proper etiquette, go through some interview skills, whether it be virtual or in person. And we teach technology etiquette and appropriateness as well. If you have any questions, please let us know in the chat or.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, Mary Beth and Amanda. If anyone has any questions, like Mary Beth said, please feel free to chat them using the chat feature. You can also email them directly, as their contact information is right up here on the screen. And we are going to move on. I'm going to give Mary Jane with Glsen a few more minutes to try and troubleshoot her microphone issue. And in the meantime, we will move along to my sister's place. We will be hearing from Danessa Antone.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Danessa. I am the Director of Children's Services for my sister's place. My office is in Yonkers. However, we have our main office, which is also in West. My sister's place is a domestic violence agency. Of course, we work with survivors of domestic violence as well as human trafficking. However, we provide an array of services from shelter, counseling, legal services, education, and we work with the family, with the entire family. So we work with the survivor as well as their children. But today I'm going to talk to you about Parenting with a Heart, as well as the Impact Program, which is fairly new. The Impact Program works specifically with children under the age of 18 who their parent was impacted by domestic violence. And so the counselors are in the home providing therapy services to the children using the ARC model. And then this program is fairly new. It's probably about almost 2 years. So there's still a lot of things that we're working on to the program and how we receive referrals for that particular program. We are currently receiving services from our partners, which is the DSS-DV collaboration. So whenever they have a case, a client that they're working with, they would do something called an ACEs screening. ACEs basically assesses the child's their level of trauma that they've been impacted by, and then that determines if there's a referral to us. So based on whatever their level is, they're then referred to us, and then our clinicians begin seeing them in the home. The program runs for 12 sessions. However, we try to do it over a 20-week period, just in case there's a cancellation or anything like that. There's enough room to make up the sessions so that none of the sessions are missed. And then we have something called Parenting with a Heart. This was actually here before I got here, so I'm actually still learning about this particular program. But HEART is an acronym for Healing, Encouraging, and Restoring Together. So basically, this program is provided in two different versions. There's a version for professional development, and there's also a parenting version. So basically what the program does is that it empowers parents, survivors of domestic violence by providing them with knowledge and skills that they need to nurture their children or, their child's healing in the aftermath of violence. Because many times, of course, we don't realize that the child, even if the child is not seeing it, even if they're not witnessing it, they are definitely still impacted because children pick up on feelings, they pick up on a lot of different things, especially when, it's from a parent. So even if they don't see it, they don't hear it, they're not around when it's happening, there's some sort of effect from the parent that they are receiving, and, we or the parent may not be aware of it. So what we do is teach the parents, they learn about the effects of witnessing domestic violence, what it has, the effects that it has on their child or their children. They understand, we teach them how to understand the parent-child relationship, and help them practice skills for communicating and helping their children process their feelings. Because again, from that abuse, there can be behavioral issues, a lot of issues that come out of it that may, of course, may, of course, I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. May, of course, cause the child to exhibit different behaviors. So yeah, that's about it. The session is usually offered by a counselor. However, that counselor recently left. So if you would like a presentation for a family, parents, or even for your staff, you can certainly reach out to me. My information is on the screen and we can more than coordinate that.
Vanessa, thank you so much for all that information about Parenting with Heart and My Sister's Place. Again, if anyone has any questions, you can either reach out directly to Danessa. Her email is on the current slide, or you can feel free to send her a chat. All right, well, thank you. We are going to move on. I apologize because we are running a little behind and I am hoping to get to everyone. So next we are going to hear from Michael Garcia, the director of the Ossining Youth Bureau.
Afternoon. So I'll probably make mine. I'll help you make up on time. So the Ossining Youth Bureau actually has just opened officially, the first one in 30 years, as of August 4th, when I was hired full-time to be the Youth Bureau director. Like I said, the first in 30 years. Thank you, Kate. So the basic mission is to connect youth to positive services and programs, and we're going to do that however we can. I mean, we're building the program from the ground up. So we're building a lot of community partnerships. We are reaching out to community individuals, organizations, with the police department, with the library, and other community-based organizations. So the goal is to really make a network for youth here in Ossining. There's a lot of things going on, but we have, it's not well coordinated. So the Youth Bureau's goal is to actually help coordinate everyone to provide services consistently for youth and to identify how to provide services to specific populations of youth. So in general, we operate out of the Village of Ossining Recreation Center. It's the Computo Center on Broadway. And so that is where the Youth Bureau is located. We've gotten several grants since we opened up. One is Grandpas United, which is a replication through the White Plains Grandpas United. And so we, along with Port Chester, and Charles is here, he'll talk about his as well. We are going to replicate their program, which is an intergenerational mentoring. Here in Ossining, we have 3 grandpas so far. We just started in mid-October-ish. We got 3 that we've identified, and actually today we found 2 more. So we're up to 5. So it's a process, and they keep telling us that, but we're working to help build that network of grandpas. So if you know any grandpas in the area, it's Grandpas United at villageofosning.org. And that information can be seen on our website. I'll put the website in later. But that program is being built to support youth either through DSS, through probation, through the school, through family referral is the plan with that program. And like I said, new program, we're building it, we're replicating it through Grandpas United White Plains. For the winter and spring, one of the programs that we're developing is Promoting Futures, and it's a work readiness program to help kids get prepared for summer youth employment. We did a similar program last year, finding, we realized that there are youth who want to work, but need some support in figuring out what they want to do, but also how to fill out an application. And it doesn't matter your socioeconomic background. There are kids whose parents are doctors and lawyers, and their kids could not fill out the applications. So that means nothing socioeconomically. And I think we're busting some myths here in Ossining about who's capable. All kids need support in different ways. And so that's the goal, is to make sure we're reaching everyone in every corner here in Ossining. One of the other things is through the Village of Ossining Recreation Department, there's an after-school program, which actually is $185 a month. So it's a reduced fee. That's after school from 3 to 6 p.m. And so we're supporting that program through bringing other things in, like Grandpas United. Our plan is to have a magic show with the grandpas and the kids in the after school. We're trying to get opportunities for STEM to come in and do things, and to get volunteers to come in and help support the programs as well. So really, the Youth Bureau is trying to enhance the programs that already exist and to build new ones. And so that's pretty much has been my focus since I started. If you haven't heard, Ossining just got a $10 million DRI improvement grant through the state. And so part of that $10 million is going to go into the recreation center where I'm located to help revigorate this building to make a space for the Youth Bureau. A lot of the renovations that are targeted are actually going to be spaces for youth, where they will have hopefully a conference room that is specifically for the Youth Bureau, as well as an open area space to use as sort of a teen room. It's a pretty big teen room, so we'll see what that looks like when it's done. But that's pretty much what we've been doing here in Ossining. And like I said, we're building this program. So anyone who knows of kids in Ossining, knows of families in Ossining, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, we've been starting to coordinate, collaborate with the police department and the library to provide free programming, but also partnering with the school. The school has a lot of programs, and so the goal is to figure out what those programs are and where we can support them and support the families and youth within Ossining.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Michael. I really appreciate all the information. And congratulations to you on your efforts to start up this Youth Bureau to serve youth and families in Ossining. It's really a great achievement. It's very exciting.
Thank you.
All right, so if anyone has any questions for Michael, his email is right here on the screen, or you can utilize the chat. I would like to just go back to our friend Mary Jane with Glsen, Lower Hudson Valley. We're just going to test her mic one more time to see if she's able to jump in and present. And I also want to thank everyone. I recognize that your time is very valuable, so thanks for your patience, as I know we're running a little behind. So Mary Jane, let's unmute and see if we can hear you.
There we go. Oh, I think I made it, right?
Yay, excellent. Yep, take it away.
So just a real quick for Michael Garcia, you should contact the Ossining Children's Center, if you haven't already, because they're right around the corner and they would be a great partnering group for you. Anyway,
Thank you.
Yes, I'm Glsen. It stands for Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. We don't use those words anymore because there's so many more iterations of sexual orientation and all than just gay and lesbian anymore. But it is Glsen. It's Lower Hudson Valley, covers Westchester, Putnam, and Rockland. And we are an educational organization trying to make the kindergarten through 12th grade schools safe for everyone. And of course, now I'm getting a phone call. I can't believe this. Anyway, just 1 second. I'm so sorry. Please call me back. So we cover those 3 counties. We try to make kindergarten through 12th grade schools safe for everyone, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. We've been in existence since 1997. I've been the co-chair since then. And we love going into schools and making presentations to the school staff, but we also have gone into agencies to help educate your staff when they might be uncertain about, pronouns and who are these kids that call themselves non-binary and all these new things that are happening in terms of sexual orientation and identity. So that's one thing that is our major program, if you will. Additionally, we support what they call gay straight alliances or gender sexuality alliances, GSAs. These are after school or sometimes during school groups, clubs in the public schools, primarily in the high school, but also in the middle schools. We have a number of GSAs throughout the counties. And we have an intern, a paid intern that we've hired to actually directly support the GSAs. So that's another service. We have also, I'm just wanting to show you these posters that I will gladly get to you. Well, maybe you'll come and get them from me in Yorktown, but this is everyone welcome here. It's a really nice way to tell everybody that comes into your buildings that it's a safe place. We have this one that says, in this classroom, please show respect for all, so that people know that's our expectation in the classes. And this one is just a general one, learning respect for all. We have other resources too, but these are some that I thought some of your agencies might be interested in. And as I said, I live in Yorktown. I'm a retired school social worker, so I do have time to meet up with people halfway or something if you're down in Yonkers or whatever. But that's enough for now. We have so much, but I guess I should say this was something I thought about too that I have. It's called personal and school assessment. And these could work for agencies too. Like just where are you in some of the different areas? Do you have a gender neutral dress code? Well, maybe in schools that's more important, or do you have gender neutral bathrooms in your facilities? Because that's important. I mean, more and more people are not identifying just as male or female. So, and why are pronouns so important? So I have something that I can also send you as an attachment about that. But that's enough for now. Thank you, though.
Thank you so much, Mary Jane, and I'm so glad your microphone issue worked out. I really appreciate it. So Mary Jane, could you do me a favor and just put the Glsen website in the chat? And everyone can reach out and email you with questions or check out the website. I would now like to visit the screen for the Portchester Youth Bureau. Unfortunately, their director, Charles Morgan, had to step out, but I still wanted to show the screen and acknowledge that this is another new youth bureau serving Portchester, which is really exciting news. The director is Charles Morgan. His email is right here on the screen for you if you would like to reach out to him directly and ask him any questions. And hopefully he can join us again soon to share some of the exciting news out of the Portchester Youth Bureau. So now we are going to move along to our next presenter, Student Advocacy, presented by Diane Rosenthal and Stephanie Shadman.
Hi, good morning or good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. It's been great to just listen to all of your programs and services. So just to give you a little bit of background information on student advocacy, we were actually founded in 1982, so going on 40 years. We will be having our 40th anniversary coming up in the spring. And just an important fact is that student advocacy is really the only agency in the lower Hudson Valley whose mission is exclusively devoted to education advocacy. And what does that mean? We actually work with students who are failing academically and or at risk for dropping out of school for a variety of reasons. And we work with the students and their families to advocate for the school-based services and resources to which they are legally entitled, which is really important phrase, and that will help them remain in school and succeed. As you know, when students are struggling in school, it's often difficult to figure out why, and certainly what are the next and right steps to take to receive help. The education system is complex, and our team of advocates, the majority whom are lawyers, help families navigate that system and understand their education rights under the law. Our goal is to uphold students' rights, foster communication between families and the school districts, and to empower the parents, the guardians, the families to successfully advocate for their children as well. And we also work within the community to help families identify other resources such as the ones represented here today. Our target population are students from grades actually pre-K through age 21 when they actually age out of the public school system. And our students have experienced, they have disabilities, whether it's learning or physical. They've experienced trauma. They've had social emotional challenges. They may have interacted with the juvenile justice system and multiple other risk factors. Again, our goal is to help them receive the services that they are legally entitled to in school. We serve over 500 students annually. And interestingly enough, 50% of our students are elementary school age, which is significant because we are working with students for half of our population at their earliest stages of their social, emotional, and academic development, and also when it can have the greatest and longest lasting impact. 76% of our students are students of color. There's actually a 2-to-1 ratio between male and female, and 75% of our students are attending, I just dropped my papers, are attending schools in districts in Westchester County where 50% or more of the population is identified as economically disadvantaged. So we are really working with those students and families who are most in need of our services. So now I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie, and Stephanie is going to talk a little bit more specifically exactly about our programs.
So nice to see you all, and thank you so much for inviting us to speak about student advocacy. So when would you call student advocacy, and why would you call student advocacy? So our program is designed to pinpoint when a student is experiencing issues in school. And the issues range from academic failure, school refusal, transportation, disciplinary issues, disability, and special education. So it's very broad, but it's really about the school setting. And we really encourage families to reach out sooner rather than later, because it's so important that we are able to get in there in the beginning. So you as providers who are working with many of our students, if you can identify that, that would be very helpful to the student, because the sooner we get involved, the better. And what do we get involved to work on? Their learning issues, behavioral concerns, placement issues, attendance matters, and some registration and residency problems. Again, school-centric. Also, as our partners in all these different communities, we welcome and encourage you to call us with questions for technical assistance. We're always happy to provide information, because we believe that there's a lot of buzz all the time about this law or that change or this school, but we can give you accurate and up-to-date information about what the law is, what the regulations are, and even what some of the policies are by looking up each individual school. As you know, there's 46 school districts in Westchester County. Our goal, don't sue school districts, we work collaboratively. And we try not only to work collaboratively with the school district, but with all our partners. So it's really helpful if there's a school issue, if you work through us. And then when there's a mental health issue or a tutoring issue, we work through you. Our knowledge of the education systems, all of the diverse communities we work in, the law and the school provide us with this unique ability to bring all to the table to obtain a successful outcome for the particular student. There are about 5 specific programs that we target through the Youth Bureau, and one is called Overcoming the Odds, middle school and high school, and that's really for our core services. When families and students contact us, they often are struggling with chronic absentee issues, discipline matters, academic issues, they're bullying, and very often they're being forced out of school and told to take a GED. How do we do this? First of all, students and families need to call and register. They can either call on the phone Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, we're open, but 24 hours they can register online at our website. So we're accessible. It has to be the parent or the student, and you as the providers could really support them and help them. Very often someone will be sitting with a parent who's unsure of how to call or nervous or has a language barrier, but it really needs to be the parent or the legal guardian, because they're the one who has to sign the paperwork. And if they don't agree with using this service, then it's kind of a waste of everybody's time. But once that's accomplished, one of the main things that we do is we really interview the parent, child, community partners, and do a very deep dive into all their records, academic, medical, and this way we're really able to identify what the cause of the struggle is or the issue is. Because very often we'll get a call, my kid is suspended or my kid is failing. But why? How? How do we go in there and help them? And that's where we really come into a very careful analysis of the records to come up with a way, an approach and a strategy on how to resolve the issues. We will go to a school-based meeting, which is a legal-based meeting. We don't go to a meeting with, a typical guidance counselor. We rely on our community partners to do that. But when there's a legally based meeting, such as a suspension hearing, a CSE meeting, a manifestation determination meeting, a 504 plan, we're more than happy to represent the students at the meeting to ensure that their voice is heard, but to also protect their rights. The next one, which student advocacy is very well known for, is solutions, not suspensions. And there has been long-term movement to reduce the use of suspensions, as we all know how negatively it impacts all our students. And student advocacy has been at the forefront of this movement in Westchester County. We have a white paper which is on our website. And we've also worked collaboratively with the school districts to help them rewrite their codes of conduct so that they are more with a restorative justice approach versus a punitive approach. We will represent students at a suspension hearing. We will represent students at a manifestation determination, but we will also target and understand and explain to parents their rights about soft suspensions, which can be just as harmful to students as an actual long-term out-of-school suspension. The next project that we're involved in is Ready for Life, and on that project, all students who have an IEP under federal and state law are legally entitled to a coordinated set of transition activity goals no later than the first IEP to where they will turn 15. So it's usually around 14 and a half. Student has an IEP when you start to target this, and it's very important to do this early on in their high school careers, so that at 19, when maybe they're graduating, we're not trying to catch up for all the things that we couldn't have put in place for 4 or 5 years. It's a very important piece of the advocacy that's very often left behind, not because anybody does it intentionally, just because there's always so much to do and there's just so little time. But we feel that's a very important thing to prepare students for whatever they're going to do post high school, whether it be a job or community work or volunteerism or college. And then lastly is the Right Start, which is our reading, children who struggle with reading. And we really approach this very robustly, because our goal is to identify what's causing the reading problems. Very often people will call us, and a lot of you said you do reading programs. And all. We don't do a reading program. We analyze the records to see what's going on. And sometimes it's because the child is not, has not been found as having a disability. Sometimes the child needs a 504. There are many children who need IET or just specialized instruction in reading. And lastly, there are a lot of students who are ELL or should be or should not be ELL who struggle with reading. So just very briefly, impact of COVID on our students has been great, as it's been on all of us. We have been able to implement a hybrid model, and we were fortunate enough to have many technologies in place, such as our legal server, our case management system, so that we could continue the work. And I'm very proud of our team, because we did not miss a beat during COVID. Between Zoom and DocuSign, we were able to do it. So I'm going to wrap it up. I could go on and on and on and on and on, but thank you for listening, and it's so nice to see you all.
Thank you so much, Stephanie and Diane. I really appreciate your time. We are now moving on to the last but not least agency, the Yonkers Youth Bureau, presented by, I'm so sorry, Jennifer Vila.
Hi, everybody. No worries. Between my last name being a V and Yonkers, why I'm always at the end of the list, so all good. Thanks for everyone holding on as well. I won't take too long. I'll leave it, I'll start with, I'm always around for any questions after, but I'll just kind of give you a top line. The Yonkers Youth Bureau was reestablished last year in 2020, October 2020, so we did hit our 1-year anniversary. We are not brand new, we are reestablished, and I'm very mindful to say that because there has been a youth bureau before. I'm honored to be the one to lead the youth bureau now. I have been with the Parks Department, which I fall under a division of, for numerous years, so to be in this role, I'm excited about. What our youth bureau now focuses on is mental health support, education support, leadership and career development, health and wellness, as well as family services. We are currently working on different programs. We currently have a program with the Yonkers Police Department Community Affairs Division that's running right now, which is called the Enhanced Youth Police Initiative Plus. It's an in-person, on-site at the Yonkers PAL program with youth that have been in trouble with the law, connecting them with police in person to kind of discuss what transpired, what they could have done differently, kind of help them to avoid further trouble. We're supporting that program. We also have an ambassadors program, which is a high-level philanthropy program where we're finding youth that want that leadership skill setting to kind of be role models and our voice out there to represent us at different events. So we are working on that now as well. We are trying to roll out a leadership and employment prep program. We are running a teen-led book club. And what I'm excited about, not for the contents, is just to be able to also run some support groups for families and youth. So our family support group is virtual. We are able to partner with Family Services of Westchester, Project Hope, It's actually tonight, one of our first ones. And then we're doing an in-person youth support group with the Riverfront Library next week. So we're excited to be able to offer that to the community. We are also a resource center helping youth and families with any needs that they have, working papers, employment placement, community connections, such as volunteer opportunities. We are part of the Yonkers Parks and Rec Department. We're a division of Parks and Rec. And because of that, I'm able to partner with my colleagues from my previous role in different programs, such as their teen centers. We'll be partnering with them. We have an amazing aquatics program with Parks and Rec that we are going to teach kids to swim, but also teach them to be instructors, not just lifeguards. We want to teach them to teach classes to also get them to have money and income in the future. And one quick thing I'll mention too is that we are working on a seasonal that we hope becomes year-round after-school program that will launch right after the new year. And it'll be very different in how we're going to run it. We are going to teach middle school kids. We're going to take high school kids, employ them, train them to teach middle school kids life and social skills in a very innovative, untraditional way. And I'll leave it like that. So as we develop it, hope to roll it out more publicly, but I'm excited about that. So a lot of things happening and a lot more to come. So thank you everybody for your time, and my information is there and you know how to reach me.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. I just want to say thank you to all of our presenters and to everyone that joined us to hear more about programs and services available to youth right here in Westchester. So thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day and stay well. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kate.
Bye-bye. Thank you.